Hi everybody, and welcome to another Channel 8 sports presentation. Tonight from East Brunswick High School Gymnasium, it is girls basketball as East Brunswick hosts Columbia in an intersectional Group 4 game. Hi, I'm Jimmy Allinder, being joined once again by Phil Hill. And Phil, it's a new century. I can't think of a better matchup between two athletic teams than the East Brunswick girls basketball team and Columbia.
Well, what you have here, Jim, are the finalists of the state Group 4 game, which, of course, East Brunswick won last year. The year before, Columbia won the Group 4 title. So these guys know each other pretty well. They played each other in the regular season during last year, which Columbia won. And, of course, East Brunswick came around in the finals to beat Columbia. Two excellent teams.
Well, East Brunswick got off to an 8-0 record. I think Columbia's 6-2, we understand. Same results. East Brunswick doing it as they always have, with the way we're used to, but with a slightly different cast this year.
A slightly different cast. Reggie Carney says we're 8-0. The fact of the matter is he's somewhat surprised. He says we played some teams that could have or maybe even should have beat us, but he's glad to be 8-0. They're number 5 in the state of New Jersey, tied for number 5 in the state of New Jersey with Haddonfield in the Gannett poll. And Reggie says he doesn't think they're number 5, but I think that's just coach talk. They're playing very good ball, Jim.
And, of course, they're led by their all-everything Jess Oshesky. Let's talk about her.
Jess Oshesky, what can you say? As I said when she was a freshman coming in here, that she'd probably be the best basketball player, boy or girl, to leave out of East Brunswick High School. That may happen just yet. She's headed to Hofstra University. She's committed already, so she's playing relaxed. She is the go-to person and the charge person when things get tough.
What about some of the other players, some of the new faces?
Well, you got Liz Whalen. Liz Whalen is in a new position, that of point guard, and handling the job very well, adapting very well, I should say. You got Maura Kirby, of course, who's handling the post position. She's grown up a little bit. She's gotten a little bit stronger. Lauren Genovese is contributing as well, and then they got a young freshman, Heather O'Reilly. Remember that name, Heather O'Reilly. She's a good one.
Okay, well, as we know, East Brunswick off to an 8-0 start. This is the regular season, but we're going to watch this team as it goes along and heads toward yet, hopefully, another shot at a Group 4 title. All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll be back with the the tip-off in just a moment. Okay, we are back here at East Brunswick High School Gymnasium, where tonight the East Brunswick girls will host the Columbia Cougars, Phil.
Cougars.
That's who they are. Okay, Columbia coming in with a 6-2 record. They are from Maplewood, New Jersey. As we mentioned up top, the Cougars and Bears met in the Group 4 title game last year, and Columbia won outright the year before that. So this should be a great game. East Brunswick coming in at 8-0. Phil, you have teams that they played this year?
Well, East Brunswick, the Bears, of course, in the Maris Holiday Tournament, they beat a Notre Dame team from Staten Island 63-55. St. John Villa from Staten Island 76-56. The hosts Maris 61-51. They beat up on Edison and J.P. Stevens rather handily. Then they beat Piscataway 57-51 in a very tough game.
That was a tough game.
And then in an overtime game, they beat a previously undefeated Bishop R 78-69. So the Bears are ready.
All right. Battle tested. All right, we'll try to identify the players as we go along here. Oshesky, Erin Kinney, Liz Whalen, Heather O'Reilly, a freshman, and Maura Kirby are starting for the Bears.
Okay.
And that is Kirby jumping.
For the Cougars, Shonda Davis, Jessie McGrath, Gail Wafili, Jessica Simmons, and Sarah Jones.
All right, we have a little bit of a delay here as they search for a suitable basketball. Going to the basketball bin just to our left. Still searching. Davis is number 10 for the Cougars.
And
McGrath,
I tell you,
number 15. Wafili, number 30. Simmons, 41. And Smith, 45.
And I tell you, Reggie said Erin Kinney and Maura Kirby, they're going to have to do the job in the post position against the taller Cougars.
Right. Kirby, 6 foot. Kinney, 5'11". Two of the taller players on the East Brunswick team. course, we'll watch Oshesky. And we're about ready to begin. Tap is controlled by Columbia.
And the Bears start out, of course, in their man-to-man defense, Jim.
Right, Davis at point guard for the Cougars. The give is to Smith. She gets it inside, bounces back out. Davis once more with it. Being guarded closely by O'Reilly. Drives underneath. Shot goes up and in, and that is scored by Wafili. And the Cougars take a 2-0 lead. Big press here. East Brunswick used to that type of pressure, however, and they get it across.
They handle it rather easily, Jim.
Oshesky sets up for a three. Off the board. Rebound comes down, and that's going to be a consideration for this game tonight.
Jessica Simmons, number 41, with the rebound. Right. Reggie's concerned about it.
East Brunswick apparently wanting to go to the outside. Shot up and in.
That's Simmons.
Scored by Simmons, and it is 4-0. Bit of a trap, and what do we got here?
And Reggie's calling a timeout right away, Jim. He's not taking any chances on this.
All right, we have him mic'd up again this year, and what we will do is listen to, this is a 20-second timeout.
Breaker. Don't be going for the shot fake and let her drive. Keep your butt on the ground. Get a press breaker set up. You're doing crap nothing right now. You're running around like nutbags. That's what you're doing. Now get organized out there. When you get the ball, you've got to know she's open at the other end. Score. 1, 2, 3, score.
I'll tell you, 64 seconds into the game, and Reggie wasn't wasting any time. He wanted to make the adjustments right away, Jim.
Right.
He didn't like the way that they were allowing the young players to post up for the Cougars.
Well, when you have this type of trapping press with two people on that end, somebody's got to be open down the other end. And Kirby gives it up to O'Reilly, over to Whalen. Drives. O'Reilly puts one up, short. Doesn't find anything. And again, Columbia comes down with the rebound.
That's Tiffany Smith with the
Davis
rebound.
pushes it ahead. They got a 2-on-1 here. Won't go. Simmons comes down with it. Back to Davis. Give us to McGrath. Inside to Simmons. She goes up one more time, off the rim. Down comes Kirby with it. And we have a jump ball.
Oh, okay, Oshesky doing a nice job of keeping the ball alive there, Jim.
Phil, this is going to be a fast-paced game.
It appears to be. The Cougars are pressing.
Right.
And the Bears are pressing.
My question is conditioning going to be a factor? Kirby up with it. Off the rim. East Brunswick a little errant on its shots. Ball goes out of bounds and off Columbia, so the Bears will inbounds here. Whalen to Oshesky in the corner. They double team her. So the Bears get it out. They have yet to score. It is 4-0 with 6 minutes left to go in the first period. Oshesky again off the rim.
And I tell you, I spoke to Coach Johanna Wright for the Cougars, and she said what we're worried about is those threes. We can't let them bomb away on those threes against us.
Look at O'Reilly's guarding. Very tenacious. And Columbia turns it over. Here comes East Brunswick once more. O'Reilly inside, blocked.
Simmons.
They push it up. There's a shot from the outside, and it goes. That was by number 15, McGrath, and it is 6-0.
McGrath, a four-year starter for the Cougars.
Here goes O'Reilly, passes it to Kirby. Shot won't go in.
And Simmons with another rebound.
Kind of a lid, and there's like two out front.
Cougars lucky to get the ball back, Jim. Nobody looking for it.
Davis sets it up. Davis drives inside. She has it back somehow. McGrath looks at the basket, decides not to shoot. Turnaround shot and a foul. Well, Philly was the one that went up with that shot, and they're going to charge that on Kirby. That's her first foul. First foul of the game.
And you take a good look at Gail Wafili, and she's a 6'2" junior, Jim.
Plenty of height on this Cougar team. First shot goes in and out. Score is 6-0 in favor of Columbia. 4:44 left to go in the first period. The second shot goes in, 7-0. And the press once more. Nobody open. Now Oshesky has it. Whalen to the outside, kicks it inside to Kirby. Won't go. Follow up. Won't go. Oshesky steals. And what do we got here?
Heads up timeout
They
by
call a timeout.
Wafili.
22nd timeout it is. So a short one here, Phil. What's your observation so far?
Well, the Bears just aren't in sync. I think they're rushing things right now, Jim.
Question I have is that this fast pace, we're going to see who's in better condition here.
We're going to see who has the deeper bench, who's not, who's in better condition.
Right.
And that's probably the Bears.
All right, so this is a timeout that was taken by Columbia. They lead 7-0. East Brunswick's getting their shots, but quite honestly, they're not falling in. 4:28 left to go in the first quarter of play here at East Brunswick High School. Our first broadcast of this new millennium, and again, it's a great game. It's going to be a great game tonight. Inbound, stolen by O'Reilly.
Wow.
Boy, she's quick. Nice pass inside. What do they got here? They call it traveling on Kenny.
I'll tell you, you talk about O'Reilly being quick. She is quick, Jim. I'll talk about her a little bit later.
Lauren Genovese enters the game, replacing Kenny. East Brunswick with a token press. Broken easy. McGrath. Davis drives inside, bounce pass. McGrath somehow comes up with it, but they fight for it. Nice effort. Won't go. I think there's a foul there.
I think Whalen was hammered.
Yeah, by Wafali. That's who it is. Her first foul.
And Jim, I don't think the press is really bothering the Bears. It's just that when they get down their end of the court, they're really not, they seem to be rushing things.
Entering the game for Columbia is England, number 25. Whalen gives to Kelly. Won't go. Kirby, excuse me. Recovered by O'Reilly. Oshesky with an open look. Won't go.
Genovese.
She
Hook
comes
shot.
up with it. Down
And
comes Columbia. Boy, they're
Simmons.
really dominating the boards.
Simmons another rebound.
McGrath goes up with it. Nice rebound there. Won't go in. And here come the Bears with a 3-on-1. O'Reilly decides to take it herself. East Brunswick can't buy a buck.
I'll tell you. Wafili with the rebound.
Here's a 2-on-1. Pass to McGrath. She's underneath. Kicks it on out to England. This is a setup for Smith, who looks inside. Wafili drives, puts it up, and a foul called. And it is on Kirby. It is her second.
And I'll tell you, the Cougars are pretty active themselves, Jim. Perpetual motion right now.
Wow, 3 minutes left to go in the first period. East Brunswick has yet to get on the board.
Unusual.
They are down 7-0. Shot in by Wafili. Makes it 8-0 in favor of the Cougars. Kirby goes out. Replaced by Kenny. Shot second is good. And it is 9-0 in favor of Columbia. Whalen to Kenny. Now they have the numbers here if they can work it. Riley passes to Oshesky, goes inside. Didn't have the angle, Phil. And now there's a 2-on-0.
McGrath was open. Good hustle by Whalen.
Jump ball here. Phil, what I see is that after the missed shot,
They're breaking.
Columbia always is breaking,
That's
and they
right.
always have, they're ahead of the field.
That's right.
They inbounds, that's England. Gives to McGrath. 2:40 left to go in the first period. 9-0 in favor of Columbia. Inside, Good look.
Simmons.
Good look. And East Brunswick might need another timeout here in a second.
Jessica Simmons,
11-0. Oshesky. Whalen to Genovese. They stopped it.
And Jessica Simmons knocking the ball out of bounds, Jim, I tell you.
All right, substitutions, Phil.
Cougars have been impressive right now.
You've got Mariski and Dudra entering the game because of this fast pace. Out to Genovese. There's passing lane,
Just
blocked.
Great defense by the Cougars. And I'll tell you, Jim, Reggie was concerned about the interior play there, and the Columbia Cougars are showing great defense.
2:15 left to go in the first period, and 11-0 lead by Columbia. And it seems like Columbia is willing to sub as East Brunswick is. Whalen. That's out to Mariski in the corner to Kenny. Mariski to Whalen. 3-point try. Hits.
Ooh, mercy.
And East Brunswick finally gets
On
through.
the board, I tell you, 157, Jim.
That was Liz Whalen with that three-pointer. 11-3. 152. England. McGrath back to England. They're looking inside. Columbia goes around the horn. Back to England. Taking their time here. Whoops, goes through their hands. And a turnover. Generally speaking, Columbia has been a good ball handling team.
They look superb right at this point, Jim. Not many forced errors.
So East Brunswick has 1:25 left in this period to narrow the margin. They're down 11-3. They work it around to Whalen, inside to Kenny, bounce pass, nice shot, in.
I'll tell you, good movement by the Bears.
Right, that's scored by number 20, Dudra.
Melissa Dudra.
And it's 11-5. Press here by East Brunswick. Columbia breaks it. And once again, they set up. Tough man-to-man here. Inside.
Simmons.
And they're going to call the foul on
the shot.
Mariski, which is East Brunswick's third team foul. That is the liability. Once Smith gets that ball and she has an open lane to the basket, there's not much she can do except foul her. Less than a minute, 40 seconds. McGrath puts one up. Off the rim it goes. And they're going to call, I guess, a box out by Dudra.
I believe right.
And East Brunswick now 4 team fouls. Not sure about that call. Just establishing position. Bounce pass inside. What do we have here? Jump ball. Possession arrow should go to East Brunswick. And it does. That press by Columbia is a tough one. And I think they're going to call a foul on number 23.
That's Nicole Gooding,
who enters the game. Second team foul by the Cougars. And now they let off the press. Whalen across the court. In the corner. It's Jill Masterson, number 12. Whalen with a 3. Oh, won't go. Bounces around. O'Reilly, excuse me, that's Masterson with it, and they call another jump ball. Possession arrow should be to Columbia. 16 seconds left to go. Columbia holding an 11-5 lead here in the first period. Press on. There's the double team. Good ball handling skill here. Nice pass. Won't go. Shot. Won't go. And they say that
Simmons hustling all over the court, Jim.
Phil, these tall young ladies also know how to get good position.
They have some skills, that's for sure.
All right. You've got O'Reilly back in the game to take the ball up. And with no time on the clock, that would not count. So the score after one period of play, Columbia 11 and East Brunswick 5. East Brunswick having a lot of trouble finding the basket.
Finding a lot of basket. I don't think they've settled down, Jim. I think once they just take it easy, Reggie will be talking about it, Jim. They'll get themselves into the game there. But let's listen to Reggie, see what he's saying.
Right. Entering wing to middle. Now, if Melissa's not open, don't be shy about faking a shot or faking a pass and crossing over and taking it to the hole. The big thing is, you're taking it to the hole, but you're worried about getting it blocked. You got to take it to the hole as hard as you can. If it gets blocked, it gets blocked. Enough of them will be fouls, right? Defense. Black press and get after them. Come on. Now let's have a great quarter here. Defense. 1, 2, 3. Defense.
Come on, Bears.
Well, basically what Reggie's saying is don't be intimidated, Jim. He says, we know they have some trees in there, and they've blocked several shots, but you got to continue to go to the hole. And if they block it, they block it. If not, more times than likely, they're going to call the foul, though. So continue to play your game.
Columbia has been very adept at getting that ball up and establishing position. East Brunswick, meanwhile, still with a little bit of the jitters. Let's see if they settle down this quarter.
You won't find too many quarters where East Brunswick scores 5 points, Jim.
That's for sure. Phil, you notice that Oshesky's been sitting for a rather lengthy period here.
They have that type of balance on the team, Jim. She'll come in when they need her.
Shot, and they're going to call a foul.
And I'll tell you, as Reggie appears to be a genius at times, exactly what he said at the end of the quarter there. Go to the hole there and draw the foul, which Lisa Mariski just did.
And that foul on Tiffany Smith. Shot up and in by Lisa Mariski.
Lisa Mariski, junior, 5'6" junior, averaging about 9 points per game.
Good on the second one. So now we have a 4-point game, 11-7. Again, they push it up. Good defense by East Brunswick that time.
That's Dudra.
Again, they look to establish position underneath. England drives. She goes up with it. Aaron's shot. And I think they're going to call a foul again on Smith.
That's Tiffany Smith.
She picks up her second.
That's her first, I believe, Jim.
I got her for 2, Phil.
All right.
We'll see.
Okay.
Oh, they got her down for 2. Okay. Bears inbound.
Cougars continue with the press.
Oshesky immediately in the game takes a shot, won't go. O'Reilly. Little Heather O'Reilly with the rebound.
Ubiquitous Riley. She's everywhere.
Oshesky's taken about 3 shots and has yet to score. Rotation, ball won't go. Davis in the game again. We're in the second quarter. Columbia holding an 11-7 lead here. They jumped out to an 11-0 lead. Shot up and bounces off the rim and in by Wafili.
Wafili.
Who has
7.
Yeah, she's got 7 points thus far. 13-7 is the score. Oshesky drives, goes up with the right hand.
I'll tell you, nice move.
Draws the foul. And that is on Davis, her first.
And I'll tell you, Jess Olszewski has really played some good ball for the Bears thus far this year, Jim. She's coming off a 25-point performance against Bishop Bar and played a game against Piscataway where she had 22 points, 8 rebounds, 3 blocks, and 4 assists.
Well, she got her first point this evening and comes on the foul line. That makes it 13-8. And bounces in and out. Here comes a bit of a press again. But Columbia gets it across. They are a good ball handling team.
They're a poised team, Jim.
Davis drives on O'Reilly. shot up, finds nothing. But what do we got here? They say that Columbia went out with the ball.
Stepped out of bounds.
Yeah.
Before she was bumped.
All right. Kenny looks for somebody. Bounce pass there. She's trapped. And that's what happened, although shots missed, but follow-up is good. And that turnover hurt.
And Wafili playing a super
Another
game.
turnover. And they call a foul on Oshesky. Not a good sequence for East Brunswick.
And usually you don't see East Brunswick wielding under pressure there, Jim. But the pressure defense by the Cougars is forcing, as we see, turnovers.
15-8 is the score. Both teams with 5 team fouls here in the second period. And Kenny exits the game. Inside, McGrath. Good rotation. Columbia, a little bit of a push-off there by Davis she got away with.
Simmons, good move.
Turnaround, won't go, but Columbia with the rebound. Boy, they really dominate the boards.
Wafili. Gail Wafili, unbelievable, 11 points, Jim.
And a 17-8 lead now.
And Reggie talked about, at the top of the show, Jim, we talked about the post play. He's very concerned about it. Let's hear what he has to say.
You bench press 135 pounds, so don't tell me she's going over you. You get tough or sit here. All right, now let's change the press breaker to special. All right, change it to special. Everybody know where they belong? Right? Yeah. Okay, again, right now, this is what it's all about. If one of you is going to break down and let your kid play volleyball up here, what do you think's going to happen? Every one of you has to box out and go to the glass. There's no reason for this. Now, let's also switch the press to man and see if we can get in their shorts right now. Come on, make a run here. There, it's 1, 2, 3, bang!
Okay, several things, Jim. Reggie's talking about he wants them to do what they did against Bishop R when they were out rebounding them. Box out. He's also changing up the defense, talking about a man-to-man defense. Try to shake some of the poise that this Columbia Cougar team has exhibited.
And imploring Oshesky to get a little bit more tough. Whalen with it. Drives into Kirby. Goes up. Won't fall. Boy, she hasn't had any luck tonight. And they call a travel.
On Wafili.
So that's a bit of a break for East Brunswick.
That's the only thing Gail Wafili has done wrong tonight, Jim. 11 points for the young lady.
Bears will inbounds. Out to Oshesky. Genovese. In. Good block.
Simmons.
Another block.
Oh, mercy.
Steal. And here comes Columbia. Boy, they are sharp.
I'll tell you, Simmons is the best post player we've seen in a while, Jim. Defensively.
Right. There's Smith. Out to Davis. Bounce pass in again. Drives. Won't go, however. Bounces around. Look at those long arms.
Feely.
Wow. Great rebounding sequence here for Columbia. And they call a foul.
Mercy.
And I believe, well, that's going to be the 6th team foul. They call it on Whalen, her first. So Oshesky out and Kirby. Well, if I was Columbia, I'd continue to work it inside. They're just kind of having their way tonight. McGrath looking inside. O'Reilly, what does she do? She come up with it? And they say it was off Columbia. And East Brunswick comes up with a badly needed turnover. They're down 17-8. 4:55 left to go in the second quarter. They move it around. Whalen. Mariski in the corner, puts one up. Off the rim. Follow-up by O'Reilly won't go. Columbia comes down with it.
Simmons.
And they push it up. This is McGrath. Drives, puts it up, won't go. However, the rebound fought for.
I'll tell you. Liz Whalen and Wafili. I'll tell you, I haven't seen two more impressive post players than Simmons and Wafili, Jim.
The ball seems to just draw to Wafili's hands.
Oh, wow. That's
called a travel.
He
You don't
called
see it
a
called
travel.
that
You don't
often.
see
but
that called too
you
often.
cannot move on an inbounds.
Joanna Wright not saying much.
Except after a pass, after a score. East Brunswick needs to get it up, and they do. Whalen looks for an opening. Blocked.
Mercy.
And McGrath's going to pick it up. Good defense here.
Good hustle.
Hustle by everybody.
I tell you, you're talking about O'Reilly and Liz Mariski. Lisa Mariski.
However, East Brunswick is not in any sequence of a rhythm, Phil. That's the problem. They look inside. Shot goes up and a foul.
Let's see, it's either Mariski.
Her second.
And you're looking at Shanta Davis, the point guard, the 5'7" point guard for Columbia, who's done a pretty nice job handling the ball against the press, Jim. Now just a correction over here on which way the arrow should be, Jim, and I think they straighten it out.
Okay. Davis to the line, shooting 2. 17 foul by East Brunswick. This is the first. Score remains 17-8 in favor of East Brunswick. Excuse me, in favor of Columbia. Apologies. And second is in. So it is a 10-point margin, 18-8. The Cougars beating East Brunswick. East Brunswick, Genovese ahead of the field, but she can't handle the pass.
Too much juice on it.
Now we got a press.
Reggie calling for man-to-man defense right now. Man-to-man press.
McGrath brings the ball up. A little bit of a trap, but they break it. Wafili with the ball. Interception. Wow. She thought there should have been a foul there, Phil.
Could have been.
They missed that one.
They're letting them be aggressive, Jen. Simmons. Mercy.
Puts it in. Her 8th point, and it is 20-8, back up to a double-digit margin. Inside, but broken.
Wafili with the hand on it.
East Brunswick really having some trouble.
I'll tell you, just great defense. And if you can look at the Cougar bench real quick, we can take a look at the Cougar bench there, and you got Coach Johanna Wright, and she's no stranger, Jim. Johanna Wright has won a state championship in New York, in White Plains, New York. And then in 1998, she won this state championship for Columbia. She went to the tournament. She was the tournament champions finalist. She lost there, but she has had exceptional teams. You might remember her daughter, Jasmine, who played for her several years ago. Her daughter, Jasmine, now playing for Syracuse. So Joanna Wright knows her basketball and loves her basketball.
Well, it's very obvious by the way this team is playing that they are well skilled. They know where they're going. Everything is everybody matches up very well with each other, and then of course you've got those towers in the middle that seem to come up with every rebound.
Well, Reggie knew they would be of some concern there, and they put on a show at least this first half, Jim. Both Simmons and Wafili.
So it is 20-8 in favor of Columbia as East Brunswick inbounds with 3:21 left to go in the second quarter. Kenny, shot blocked. That's about the 5th shot block tonight.
Simmons has a bushel of rebounds and a batch of blocks.
All right. They'll inbounds one more time. Genovese looks inside, kicks it out to Whalen. East Brunswick having a lot of difficulty getting good looks. Movement to the left side. Shot blocked again. This is about the 4th shot in the sequence that's been blocked.
Wafili.
And they call a foul. Light foul on Kenny, which nonetheless is going to result in a 1-on-1.
Just magnificent defense by the Cougars. The Bears trying to drive through the go up amongst the trees there, Jim, and everything's getting swatted away.
Phil, of some concern is the fact that East Brunswick now is in foul trouble, and the way this game has been going, Columbia's getting a lot of shots. First one in by Simmons, and she'll get another. It's 21-8. Second goes off the rim, but Columbia comes down with a rebound. Wafili looks around inside to Simmons, has an open look and puts it in.
Mercy.
And East Brunswick just does not have an answer. 23-8. Into the middle. Genovese down low, back outside. Whalen on top of the key, passes it to Genovese. Shot won't go. Down with Simmons comes with the rebound.
Who else?
Inside by Wafili, turns around, shot in. And we're getting a clinic here by Columbia, 25-8. And East Brunswick needs to be very careful that this game doesn't get out of hand. Genovese, shot, hit, they needed it. They say 2.
Okay.
25-10.
Good
Pass
hand by
batted
Whalen.
away.
Okay, Whalen, good defense there. But they're down 15 points with a minute 49 to go, Jim. The Bears need to make a run right here and see if they can bring it to at least 10.
Not only that, but they have not stopped Columbia down this end of the floor. McGrath almost gets it out of bounds, but Davis comes up with it. Excuse me, that is Davis with the ball. Burnett is number 11. Inside, Wafili hits.
Just great movement.
27-10.
15 points for Gail Wafili.
Whalen in the corner. Shot goes up, rolls in and out. That was by Dudra.
And Simmons with the rebound.
Wafili, excuse me, this is McGrath, goes up with it. Follows up, and East Brunswick just sort of died on that sequence. 29-10, 19-point margin. Whalen with a shot. Won't go, off the rim. Ball goes out of bounds, and Columbia will take over with 48 seconds left to go.
And Joanna Wright pointing to her head, say, use your head, use your head.
And what do we have here? Ball was off East Brunswick. Ball brought up by Simmons.
Wow.
Bounces right back into Wafili's hands, puts it up and in. They couldn't have it any better than this. 31-10. 30 seconds left to go in the quarter. And what do we got? They call it travel.
Okay, the young lady was trying to call timeout, Jim. And
that was Burnett.
Right, Fisher didn't give it to her.
Just a well-drilled ball club. O'Reilly up with it, stuffed.
Mercy.
McGrath comes down. And in. Wow. 33-10. 10 seconds left to go. Whalen in the corner. Shot up. Won't go. Rebound. Down with it. Won't go.
She came from out of bounds.
And just 1 second left on the clock.
I'll tell you, with Philly stepping in from out of bounds, you can't do that. And the Bears should have possession here, Jim.
Correct. Whalen will lob it in. Genovese gets it off. Won't go, however, and at the end of the first half of play, Columbia 33, East Brunswick 10.
And we've been doing games a long time now, Jim, and we haven't seen anybody quite manhandle the Bears like they have been this first half.
They have been a very dominant force, but you got to give them credit for the way they have moved that ball and the way Simmons and Wafili have just dominated the backboards.
Dominate the boards, no doubt about it.
So it's been a very a very impressive performance by this team. Reggie Carney's going to have his work cut out for him. Interesting that Olszewski did not play a lot of that first half.
Well, what's going to be interesting is how the Bears come out the second half, Jim. I talked to Reggie early this week, and he says sometimes we can look great and sometimes we cannot look so great. They had a scrimmage where they lost to St. John Vianney by 60 points or so, and that was an aberration, of course. Then other times, as we pointed out, they beat some of the best teams in New York, and certainly have beaten the best teams in Middlesex County, Piscataway and Bishop Bar.
Well, tonight is not one of their top performances. All right, let's take a break and we'll be right back. All right, we're back here at halftime of the East Brunswick-Columbia basketball game. And as has been a tradition here at East Brunswick High School, the fall teams are honored. First is the girls tennis team, which finished with a 19-1 record. We're Red Division and GMC tournament champions for the 9th consecutive year. And they were ranked number 18 in the state, Phil.
Wow.
So the letter winners are, and we'll try to make this sequence as John Emery announces.
I'll tell you, Coach Karen Grant has done a good job.
Coach of the Year.
Wow.
Kate Chen, congratulated. She was GMC second doubles champion. Jocelyn Chen was GMC's second doubles champion. Renee Kaplan, third singles champion for the second consecutive year. That is her. Barbara Sharnack, first doubles champion. Jennifer Eng, the GMC second doubles champion. You have Rachel Newman, first doubles champion. And Alina Balasa, who is the player of the year in the home news.
Quite an honor.
Right.
Quite an honor.
Obviously, first singles champion.
Yeah. Debbie Sharnack not here tonight. But.
All right, the girls' gymnastic team is next, and they finished the season with a 7-4 record. You're looking at the tennis team right there, by the way. The girls' gymnastic team finished with a 7-4 record and were the GMC tournament champions. Ranked number 9 in the state. You have first Lynn Kersner, Ashley Morrison, Varad Sherman, Seema Singh, Joe Goldman, Jennifer Ruth, who was named All Area Home News, Terry Nelson, named All Central Jersey, on crutches there, Faye Bronzo, and then you have Carrie Sweeney, who was All Area Home News as well. So congratulations to the girls gymnastic team, and a photograph being taken. All right, that will do it at halftime. We'll be back with the second half tip-off after this. Back here at East Brunswick High School, where the girls are hosting, and they are a good host tonight for Columbia. They're down 33-10. Phil, we were talking at halftime. Since Reggie Carney has come over here, can you remember a time when a team has been as dominant as it has?
Not for a half.
Yeah.
The big story has been Simmons. 10 block 10 rebounds and 7 block shots for the first half. Jim.
And Wifili coming in with 17 points. So East Brunswick has a lot of problems, and they can start out with O'Reilly here. Good shot.
Wow.
Boy, she's quick, huh?
I'll tell you how quick she is. Reggie says she's the quickest player he's ever had.
Well, that says a lot because he's had a lot. 33-12 is the score. We are underway here in the third quarter, and East Brunswick is going to have to do a job. In, pass, taken away by Genovese. The ever-present inside game by Columbia.
And I'll tell you, the Bears coming out showing some intensity, Jim.
Here's the press.
I would have liked to have been a fly on the wall at halftime.
And they call traveling on East Brunswick. Again, you cannot walk with the ball except after a basket.
Unforced error.
Columbia inbounds, bounce pass inside. Olszewski tries to block her out, but is unsuccessful. That was Simmons.
11 points for Simmons.
35-12.
And it's a travel by Genovese.
Phil, if East Brunswick is going to try to match Columbia in this type of pressure game, I don't know if it's going to work.
Well, I think East Brunswick has the ability to create some havoc, but they got to go all out, Jim. That's been their patent trademark for years.
Well, feeling it.
McGrath.
And they can afford it now to take these types of shots. 37-12. It is a 25-point margin. Shot up and rolls out. Down with the rebound comes Simmons.
Good hand by Olszewski.
Stolen by O'Reilly. Goes off her leg, though.
O'Reilly, is she ever quick? Reggie Carney says Trish Propowski of Hoffman was the fastest player quickest player he's ever had, and Heather O'Reilly has eclipsed that.
McGrath looks to inbounds it. Gets it in finally. Wifili drives. Puts it up and in.
An unstoppable force. 19 points for the young lady.
And it is 39-12 now with 6.5 minutes to go. Stolen. Out of bounds it goes.
Wifili. And Reggie's calling for a timeout.
Yeah. He's got to do something here. This is like a continuation of the second quarter.
And let's hear what he has to say, Jim.
Yeah. Make sure when you get it, you look to get it to Heather in the middle. You don't want to be throwing it back to Lauren because basically they're running black right now. Right? They're taking that away. Now, you're in trouble down there. Pump fake, get him in the air, and go around them. Right? Come on, let's go. Come on.
We need to start our run now,
Don't let her start getting rebounds on you. Hey, score. 1, 2, 3, score. What?
Eyes on help.
Okay.
And Reggie's just concerned about the number of block shots and whatnot. He's saying pump fake, then go around them. And you heard a voice in the background let's start our run right now, Jim.
And they need a run. Genovese gives it off to O'Reilly. She's been the bright spot tonight for East Brunswick.
She is quick.
Wow, and
She
draws
is
a foul. Who is that on? They call it on Smith.
And take a good look at Heather O'Reilly because you're going to see her for a number of years, Jim. She had a big three-pointer in overtime against Bishop R. And
this is the first shot. Again, if you just joined us, Columbia have been dominant this game. O'Reilly with the second shot, good. Makes the score 39-13. Yeah, you heard right. 39-13. Columbia out in front of East Brunswick. These teams met for the Group 4 state championship last year. East Brunswick winning, but a bit of a turnaround so far. Burnett won't go. Down with the rebound comes East Brunswick. Stolen, however, but back to East Brunswick. Whalen with an open lane. Sets it up. Olszewski, who has but 1 point tonight. She goes, won't fall, down with the rebound. Burnett slows things up a bit for the Cougars. McGrath, who's played a solid game, has it. Now she gives it to Simmons. Back to Davis. Drives, no look pass to Wifili, goes up, Won't fall. However, they get she gets her own rebound, puts it up and in.
Mercy.
And that foul is on who? They will call it on Dudra, who picks up her second.
And you're looking at the offensive force of for the night, Jim. Gail Wafili, a 6'2 junior, goes to the line with 21 points at this juncture.
Shot up and in.
Make it 22.
Completes the traditional three-point play, and a 42-13 lead by Columbia. Foul by England, who has entered the game. Substitution, Kershaw, who appears to be the tallest player on the court. Listed at 6'2", but she looks a little taller than that.
And everyone else.
A lot of size. Olszewski with it for East Brunswick. They have not had a decent look all night. Stolen away. McGrath with it. Boy, that was terrific defense.
Good hand.
Whalen knocks it away.
I'll tell you, good hand.
And Phil, at this juncture, if you're down by 29, you're just going to have to start looking for other things this evening for East Brunswick. Just don't see a comeback of any magnitude here. McGrath gives to Wafili with a look inside. There's Kershaw, doesn't go. However, a follow-up by Simmons, and she was fouled. That is on Olszewski, her second.
Okay, Jessica Simmons, a 6'2 junior herself, and 11 points at this juncture. We'll go to the line to shoot two.
Phil, this Columbia team, as Simmons puts it up and in for the first shot, what really is impressive in my mind is that not only is it dominant with its aggressiveness, its speed, and defense, but they're also, with the height, they're dominant on the boards. There's really not a weakness in this game, in their game. Simmons misses the second. However, they come up with the rebound. McGrath drives to the basket, puts it up and in.
Mercy.
And she is fouled.
And I'll tell you, you take a good look at Jessie McGrath, like Jessie Olszewski, a 4-year starter for her team here. The 5'8" senior is the glue that keeps this Columbia Cougar team together.
And she has 10 points, and looking for her 11th. She goes to the line to complete the three-point play. Up and in. And it is now 46-13. This is Whalen. East Brunswick obviously starstruck here this evening. Whalen with a long one won't go. East Brunswick with just one three-point shot that went in, and that's unusual in itself. And quite honestly, Columbia's played such excellent defense that they have not allowed East Brunswick just even a token look. Inside on the turnaround, beautiful shot by Wafili, and everything is clicking for this team. 48-13 is the score. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left to go in the third quarter. It pretty much has been all Columbia. Shot up and in by O'Reilly. Sort of break the skin. 48-15. Lob pass inside to Kershaw. Kicks it back out to McGrath. Puts it up and in. And she's on a bit of a roll now. She's got 13 points. Down to 4 minutes left to go in the third quarter. 50-15. Stuffed.
Simmons.
Boy, was she hit. They say it went off. Columbia. East Brunswick will inbound the ball. Pass out to Whalen in the corner. Movement around in the corner. O'Reilly with a three-point try. Won't go. And East Brunswick. Columbia with the rebound. Wafili bounce pass.
Great pass.
Beautiful pass. McGrath almost made that shot. Simmons comes down with it, and they kick it back outside. Wafili, Phil, is playing outside on the guard position. Look at the height on the court for this team.
I tell you, you talk about Wafili and Simmons are out where the guards are, Jim, and they throw it down to Kershaw, who happens to be 6'2" herself, Jim. And that's been the story tonight, the mismatch in size and strength and the poise of Columbia.
You've got Okaro, 54. She's listed at 6'2". Shot won't go.
And Ingrid Goslin has not been in the game yet, and she's 6'3", Jim.
O'Reilly was the one charged with that foul. And the second shot good by Kershaw. Makes it 51-15. In the corner to O'Reilly. Back out to Whalen. Over to Dudra. Inside. Kirby with the turnaround. She's blocked by Simmons.
I'll tell you, Simmons must have about 15.
Some new faces again here. What do we got? Gonna call a jump ball.
Simmons with about 10 block shots easily, Jim.
Phil, pardon me, but Nia Rasul listed at 5'4", and I'll tell you what, she looks just genuinely small out there compared to her teammates.
She is, Jim.
a lot of substitutions now. Rafili goes out. .250 left to go in the third quarter. 51-15. That's Whalen who converts. She has 5 points, and it's 51-17 in favor of Columbia. Simmons drives to the right, goes to the basket, puts it up, won't go. Rebound, however, goes up and off the board. McGrath takes it, and she brings it and sets it up. Columbia content to take a little clock off, moving the ball around. Ball handled by number 23, Gooding. We haven't seen too much of her. And they call a jump ball, possession arrow to Columbia. Phil, I hate to use the expression garbage time, but quite honestly, there's been a number of wholesale substitutions by Columbia, and quite unusual to see this situation.
I don't think for each of these teams with the quality players they both have on the bench, ordinarily you might be right, but I don't think so with each of these teams. They both have good players.
Okay, we have a timeout, a 20-second timeout. Phil, I have to tell you, the combination of Simmons and Wafili with the point totals, and also the McGrath, the way she has scored, this really, what do you see as far as, I don't know, I haven't watched too much of the girls' basketball
Somebody
season.
beat them, Jim. They are 6-2. They come in here 6-2.
That's correct.
I'm not quite sure who they lost to, but the fact of they have their A game going tonight. And quite frankly, we've seen East Brunswick enough. They were not in sync from the very beginning, Jim, and nothing seems to be going right. Reggie can deal with this. He'll throw this game out, and they'll go back to the board. That's all.
You're quite correct. We've watched basketball long enough to know that what occurs on one night doesn't necessarily happen the next night. And the ball goes out of bounds. McGrath goes searching for the ball underneath the stands.
Okay, she's rather brave going back there.
Finds it. And Columbia will inbounds. Cougars with a 51-17 lead. Down to 2 minutes left to go in the third quarter. They have the ball. She really handles the ball well, doesn't she?
She's, like I say, a 4-year starter. She's been there.
Stolen by O'Reilly. And an easy layup.
I'll tell you, I've been impressed.
Makes it 51-19. So a couple of turnovers here. And they say it went off East Brunswick. Not so sure of that. England comes in. Add a little bit more stability to bringing the ball up. Another steal by O'Reilly, Phil. Won't go. A little strong on the shot.
She went up with the left hand as
Yes,
she should.
she did. You know, you see little glimpses of what East Brunswick can do when they get their game in gear.
And O'Reilly, I tell you, she's all over the place. She's exhausted, Jim, because she's giving it all. And they'll probably substitute for her.
McGrath goes up with it and puts it in. How many points does she have?
She has 15, Jim.
53-19 is the score. Shot up. Won't go. That was by Ashley Stapleton, who was in the game. Phil, I'm sorry for not mentioning her coming in.
Okay, Ashley Stapleton. Reggie Carney says she has been a big surprise for the Bears. She has improved substantially over last year.
And she gets a well-earned rest. Whalen goes up with it off the rim. Follow-up, however, one of the rare times that East Brunswick has gotten an offensive rebound. Put up by Kenny. Makes it 53-21. With 55 seconds left to go in the third quarter. A lot of substitutions now. We're going to try to keep track of them. Ball inbounded by Wafili. Wafili takes it up. She does everything. Goes off her foot, and East Brunswick will take over.
And I tell you, I've never seen the big girls like Simmons and Wafili handle the ball the way they do.
In the corner to Genovese. Shot to Kenny. Goes in. East Brunswick 53 down 53-23. A 30-point lead. England brings it over the line. A little bit of a disarray here now. Shot up by Whalen won't go. Genovese follows up. She's fouled, however. And East Brunswick at least making this game respectable. Lauren Genovese at the line, shooting 2. 20 seconds left to go in the quarter. Ball bounces off the back of the rim. So Genovese will have one more.
And Genovese, of course, the outstanding softball player, Jim, as
makes the second.
been a good one.
53-24, Columbia out in front. McGrath given the responsibility of putting it across. She's double teamed, and they say foul by Masterson. That is the 5th team foul by East Brunswick, so Columbia will inbounds.
The Bears don't like the call.
McGrath with 10 seconds, drives to the basket, sets up and shoots, and she hits.
17 points for McGrath.
55-24, long shot, won't go by Genovese. So after 3 quarters of play, Columbia with a commanding 55-24 lead, and they have done it all ways. This is a teaching situation now for this young East Brunswick team, and it'd be interesting to hear what Reggie Carney has to say to his people.
Hey, just keep battling right now, okay? Let's just play a bunch of 2-minute games, see if we can keep winning every 2-minute game, 5-0, see what happens. Come on, let's do it.
Let's hustle, guys. Let's go.
Hustle, 1, 2, 3, hustle. Come on, let's go.
Not a heck of a lot to say. Reggie chooses to break the game down to 2-minute quarters, if you will, and try to approach the game that way. Good crowd tonight, Phil.
Well,
We had mentioned that the boys are playing over at St. Joe's, and that always draws a portion of the student body.
you're right. So a good crowd considering that the boys are playing St. Joe's tonight. You're right.
We're in the 4th quarter. Shot won't go by Genovese. Columbia ahead 55-24. Wafili, she's going to drive, turns it around, gives it off to Burnett. Inside, Simmons with it.
And I'll tell you.
And they call a jump ball.
And Simmons shows you just how strong she is, Jim.
She's terrific. And Columbia can get possession. Bunch of the starters sitting right now. Simmons with it. This time it won't go.
Wafili
comes up with it off the board. Nice touch. And
26 points. We're with
57-24. Turnaround by Kenny. Doesn't find the basket. And McGrath, who, besides her scoring and driving, comes up with the rebound. McGrath with it. Lob pass inside to Simmons. Passes off to Wafili. Comes up with her own rebound.
Mercy.
Second rebound.
How tenacious is.
That was Simmons.
That was Simmons.
Yeah. And it's 61-24. Won't go. Phil, am I off here? Was it 57-24, and did they not register those 2 points? Well, whatever. We'll call it 59-24 at this point. Nevertheless, it's a 35-point lead. Shot up. In and out. Risky couldn't make that. .6:30 left to go in the game. A 35-point lead. Phil, stolen. O'Reilly. Phil, are you a little surprised that Simmons and Wafili are still in there with a 35-point lead, 6 minutes to go?
No.
Okay.
No, not really. I mean, we've seen probably Johanna Wright is considering, listen, we're going to have to run for 4 quarters, and we're playing a top-notch team. We're going to let it out.
Right. Whalen with a shot. Finds the back of the rim, won't go. They slow it down. Davis. Inside. Shot won't go by Kershaw. And here comes East Brunswick.
Risky.
2-on-1 here. Shot up and in by by Masterson. Makes it 59-26. Ball stolen by East Brunswick. They've got some numbers here. O'Reilly puts it up off the rim, although won't go up. Shot up by Whalen. She's fouled, however. They will call that on Kershaw.
And nobody for the Bears particularly having a good game tonight, but Liz Whalen coming off a 23-point performance against Bishop R.
Reggie calls a 20-second timeout. Don't know what it's about.
Okay, now you know why we call this timeout? So you didn't get cheap shotted and miss these foul shots. Now nail both foul shots. Great job, way to battle. Way to keep battling out there. Hustle, 1, 2, 3, hustle.
Why did he call this timeout?
I want to make sure that they make these foul shots. Reggie hasn't stopped coaching. He understands that for the most part this game's over, but he's trying to keep positive for his forces. He'll handle it perfectly when the game is over. It's just a game that was not Thursday night. He'll use it so that they can build on it, Jim. That's for sure.
Liz Whalen steps to the line. She will shoot 2. First goes.
Whalen averaging about 10 points per game. Had a 7-assist performance against Piscataway.
Good on the second. 59-28. East Brunswick with its ever-present press. This is Davis across the line. Wafili. Back to Davis. Wafili inside to McGrath, gets a good look. Won't go, however. One of the rare shots she missed. However, Columbia comes down with the rebound. Wafili drives inside with the left hand, gives it off to Kershaw, in and out. Simmons comes down with the rebound, misses everything, however. Ball off Columbia. East Brunswick takes possession.
And Selena Kershaw, she's a big girl. She's got to learn how to finish. She gets a lot of passes thrown down there, but cannot finish.
Dudra takes a bit of a rest. Whalen, long shot, just hits the front of the rim. That was by Mariski.
And coming into the game for Columbia is their biggest player, the 6'3" sophomore, Ingrid Goslin, number 52.
Wafili getting a little playing time here at guard. Dribbling the ball. Simmons now with it. Takes her time. You would think that Columbia is not in any mood to do anything. Almost stolen away, however. Again, ball movement. Look at Wafili. Phil, she's a Division I prospect. You got to believe.
She has it all.
Yep. Just those moves alone show me a lot. Ball bounces off East Brunswick.
Well, Jim, you asked me a little earlier why Simmons and Wafili are still in the game. Columbia is not rated in the state at this juncture here.
You got to be kidding me.
So Johanna Wright is probably trying to make a point to the pollsters to say, hey, listen, we're a good team.
You're telling me they're not ranked in the top 20?
No.
Well, they will after tonight. Turnaround shot won't go by Goslin. East Brunswick comes up with the ball. 4 minutes left to go in the game. 59-28. Columbia with a commanding lead. Whalen drives. Shot up. Won't go. Whalen fights for it. And they're going to call who? Number 50, Sarah Jones. Substitution for East Brunswick.
Number
24.
24, we don't have her.
All right, yeah, we don't have her number.
Let's see.
Shot up and in. I got to confess, I was looking at the score sheet and I didn't see who made it.
That's Sylvia Madansky.
Okay. Score is 59-30. Columbia looking to inbounds. Ball controlled. Jones with it. This is Duffy now. Drives inside, and they're going to call her for walking.
I'll tell you, Stapleton putting good pressure on there, forcing the walk. Ashley Stapleton.
East Brunswick pushing it up. Shot, quick shot, 23.
That's
Stapleton.
Stapleton.
Makes it 59-32. 27-point lead now. East Brunswick chipping away. Duffy sets up a three-point shot. Won't go, however, a tough rebound by Goslin. Gets a rebound again.
I'll tell you.
And they're just standing underneath there, just waiting for the ball to come in their hands. East Brunswick, meanwhile, comes up with it. Pass over. Goes off the hands of Columbia, and East Brunswick will take possession. More substitutions. Dudra back in. Dudra hits.
Yes. 4 points for Dudra.
59-34. Ball goes off of number 32. Why was that not backcourt?
It hit off the knee, I believe.
Okay.
Of Stapleton.
Goslin goes up, misses it.
And
She wants a basket big
I'll tell
time.
you, Sarah Jones gets the basket.
Shot up. Boy, run and gun here now. 2 minutes left to go. And we have a foul. O'Reilly took a shot off her shoulder. All right, some of the junior varsity players are getting some action here.
Well, you see Teresa Alexander about to come in the game along with Justine Barbado and Kathy Costa.
Gooding making good on her shot.
And Reggie there to give high five and whatnot. He knows they'll be back. And the fans appreciatively clap.
Won't go on the second for Gooding. 62-34. Oh, good open look there. Shot up, blocked. Under 2 minutes to play. Columbia pretty much has had its way this evening. Look inside, won't go. Duffy comes up with it. Back out. So Gooding. Stolen. And I think they're going to call who? Jones, perhaps, with the foul?
I believe you're right. Sarah Jones on the foul. And going to the line for the Bears is Jill Masterson.
That's Dudra.
I'm sorry, I take the. No, that's.
Oh, it is Jill Masterson.
Jill
I
Masterson,
apologize.
right.
You're right.
She has 3 points. She has 3.
I'm looking at number 20 now. Okay, she makes both, making it 62-36. Oh, moving around here. Letting them play, huh, Phil?
Letting them play.
Back and forth we go. We are under a minute, 62-36. Columbia with the lead. That's Denning with the shot, won't go. Down with it comes Masterson. Shot up, won't fall. Who we got here? East Brunswick will retain possession with 37 seconds left.
Okay, Madansky, Sylvia coming in the game.
Bounce pass inside. Shot up, won't fall. And they fight for it and call a jump ball. Possession arrow is to East Brunswick. And I'll tell you what, Columbia's got to feel pretty good about itself tonight. Shot up, foul. Phil, you mentioned that this team was unranked coming into this game. I would like to know who the two teams they lost to.
That's a good question.
You know, the question comes to mind, you know, is it, you have two teams here that one 8-0, the other 6-2. Is the quality of competition perhaps up in that area of North Jersey? Maybe the fact that this team has lost 2 games, might it be a little bit better than
I don't know. I think it's a matter of East Brunswick is a very, very young team, and I think this is just one of the learning things that's happened. Reggie said to me earlier that we're 8-0, but there's a few games that we could have lost or maybe even should have lost. So he's going to use this, Jim. He's not going to dwell on this game too long. He'll use it for motivational purposes, and the Bears will move on and perhaps hope to meet again in the Group 4.
It is a possibility, but as we know, just remembering the state tournament last year, a lot of things can happen. Boy, East Brunswick had to do all they could just to win that Trenton game in the Central Jersey Group 4 final.
Right.
But nonetheless, the final score this evening, Columbia with a resounding 62-37 victory over East Brunswick. The Bears dropped their first game of the season, fall to 8-1, while Columbia improves to 7-3. Phil, any final last comment?
The only thing is that I think the Bears have learned something from this year, and that Reggie's going to use it again as a motivational tool. They are a young team, and this is what can happen to a very young team. He won't dwell on it very long, Jim.
All right, so East Brunswick will continue along in the GMC. Final score tonight, Columbia 62, East Brunswick 37. For Phil Hill, this is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.